Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of connection? A feeling that you're a part of something unimaginably vast and intricate? What if that feeling is more than just poetry? What if the universe itself is conscious? It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but some of the most brilliant minds in science are seriously exploring this very idea. Today, we dive in deep into one of the most mind-bending questions ever asked. Is the universe a giant, thinking brain? Let's start with something we can see. The cosmic web. When astronomers map out the large-scale structure of the universe, they don't see a random scattering of galaxies. Instead, they see a breathtakingly complex network of galactic filaments and clusters separated by vast, empty voids. It looks like a colossal, glowing spiderweb stretching across billions of light years. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Scientists took this map of the cosmic web and compared it to a cross-section of the human brain. The resemblance is uncanny. The network of galaxies looks eerily similar to the network of neurons in our own heads. The way information flows through the cosmic web, with galaxies as nodes and gravitational filaments as pathways, mirrors how electrical signals travel through our neural networks. Could this be a coincidence? Or is it a clue to a deeper reality? This visual similarity has led to some fascinating theories. One prominent idea is called It's the belief that consciousness isn't something that magically appears in complex brains like ours. Instead, it's a fundamental property of matter itself, just like mass or charge. In this view, every particle, every atom, has a tiny, rudimentary form of experience. When these particles combine into more complex systems, like a brain, their individual consciousnesses combine to form the rich, unified awareness we experience. If panpsychism is true, then the universe, being the ultimate complex system, could possess a form of consciousness on a scale we can barely comprehend. It wouldn't be a human-like consciousness, full of emotions and deadlines. It would be something far more fundamental, a cosmic-level awareness of its own existence and think about it like this. An individual neuron in your brain isn't you. It doesn't know your name or your favorite food. But when billions of these neurons work together in a specific structure, your consciousness emerges. Similarly, an individual star or galaxy wouldn't be conscious in the way we are, but the entire network, the cosmic web, with its trillions of galaxies interacting over billions of years, could collectively give rise to a universal consciousness. It's a staggering thought. The universe might not just be a container for life and thought. It might be life and thought itself. This idea gains more ground when we consider concepts from quantum physics. At the subatomic level, reality gets weird. Particles can exist in multiple places at once, and their properties aren't fixed until they are observed. This observer effect has puzzled physicists for a century. Who or what is the observer? Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that consciousness itself plays a role in collapsing the wave function and bringing reality into a definite state. If observation is necessary for reality to solidify, then perhaps the universe needs a universal observer to exist. And what could be a better candidate for a universal observer than the universe itself? In this scenario, the universe is continuously observing itself into existence, a self-sustaining loop of awareness and reality. This is the essence of participatory cosmology, where consciousness is not just a passenger in the universe, but a co-creator of it. But how could a universe think? A human brain processes information at incredible speeds, with electrical signals zipping between neurons. The universe, on the other hand, operates on much grander. The signals would be things like gravity and light, and they would travel between galaxies over millions or even billions of years. So, if the universe is thinking, its thoughts would be incredibly slow. A single thought might span a timescale so vast, it's almost meaningless to us. What could a universe possibly be thinking about? Perhaps it's contemplating the laws of physics themselves, or exploring all possible states of existence. Maybe its consciousness is the driving force behind the evolution of complexity, from the Big Bang to the formation of stars, planets, and eventually, life. We, with our fleeting moments of awareness, might be like tiny temporary thoughts within this grand cosmic mind, let's explore another angle. Information. Some physicists, like the late John Archibald Wheeler, proposed the YIT, from bit hypothesis. This idea suggests that the physical world, everything we see and touch, fundamentally arises from information. Every particle, every force, is ultimately a collection of bits, of yes/no answers to questions posed at the quantum level. If the universe is fundamentally made of information, then it's not a huge leap to see it as a giant computer, and any sufficiently complex computational system could, in theory, achieve consciousness. This is the basis of integrated information theory, or IIT, which attempts to mathematically define and measure consciousness. According to IIT, consciousness is a measure of a system's ability to integrate information. The more interconnected and irreducible a system's information is, the more conscious it is. When applied to the brain, the theory provides a plausible explanation for our own awareness. But what happens when you apply it to the universe? The cosmic web, with its intricate network of interconnected galaxies, is a prime candidate for a system with a high degree of integrated information. It's possible that the universe's consciousness score, according to this theory, would be off the charts. Of course, these are highly speculative ideas. There is no direct evidence that the universe is conscious. The similarities between the cosmic web and neural networks could just be an example of how nature uses similar patterns for efficient networks at different scales. It's a phenomenon called convergent evolution, and we see it everywhere. The criticism is valid. We are pattern-seeking creatures. We see faces in clouds and canals on Mars. Are we just projecting our own most complex feature, our consciousness, onto the grandest canvas we know? It's a very human thing to do. Scientists rightly demand testable hypotheses and concrete evidence. And so far, the conscious universe theory is more of a philosophical and mathematical exploration than a hard science. How would you even test it? How could we communicate with a consciousness that experiences time on a billion-year scale? Despite the skepticism, these ideas are not just idle speculation. They push the boundaries of science and philosophy, forcing us to confront the deepest questions about our place in the cosmos. They challenge the idea that consciousness is a random, lucky accident confined to a few small, wet planets. Instead, they suggest that intelligence and awareness might be woven into the very fabric of reality. The universe, in this view, is not a cold, dead place that we happen to inhabit. It is a dynamic, evolving, and perhaps even living entity. This perspective, known as biocentrism, argues that life and consciousness create reality, not the other way around. The laws of physics, the constants of nature, seem finely tuned for life to exist. The anthropic principle asks why. Is it a coincidence? Or is it because the universe itself is geared towards producing observers? Imagine the implications if this were true. It would mean that the universe is not just a stage, but an active participant in the story of existence. Our own consciousness would not be an isolated phenomenon, but a fractal-like reflection of a universal consciousness. The mystical experiences reported throughout human history, feelings of oneness with the cosmos, of transcending the self, could be interpreted as brief moments of connection with this greater mind. It would change everything about how we see ourselves and our purpose. Our quest for knowledge, our art, our love-all could be seen as the universe experiencing itself through us. We would be the sensory organs of the cosmos. So, where does that leave us? The question of whether the universe is conscious remains one of the most profound and tantalizing mysteries we face. It's a frontier where physics, biology, and philosophy meet. We are like toddlers just beginning to understand the world around us, and the universe is a puzzle of infinite complexity. Perhaps one day, our science will be advanced enough to provide a definitive answer. Maybe we'll find a way to detect the signature of cosmic consciousness, or develop a theory that unites the physical world with the world of the mind. Or maybe it's a question that will always remain just beyond our grasp, a source of endless wonder and humility. But the very act of asking is what drives us forward. It inspires us to keep looking up, to keep exploring, and to keep wondering about the true nature of the magnificent cosmos we are a part of. What do you think? Is the universe a mindless machine, or a thinking, feeling being? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the biggest questions of science.